Welcome, welcome, welcome to 3 Up, 3 Down. We are back with some more fantasy baseball draft spectacular. With those of you who have missed the last few years or are new to the channel, first off, think about hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. This is our challenge of fantasy baseball here on 3 Up, 3 Down, where I myself draft a team, my fiance Alexis drafts a team, and we compete against each other to see who has the best team at the end of the season. Now, this is season 4 technically, although season 3 didn't really air because we were moving. A lot of things in life were going on. If you've seen some previous videos, you kind of understand why. But we are back. Team Alexis has done her draft first this year for the first time ever. I am about to move to my draft. And with all this, she has won every single year. Shocking, I know. Yes, it's time for me to win a year. So we gotta get real serious, get our game face on, and win a fantasy baseball draft. So I'm about to jump into my Yahoo draft. You're gonna see each of my picks just as you would with Team Alexis draft. If you haven't seen that video, you need to go check it out. I'll leave the link pinned down in the description below so you can check out that video. Great fun all the time when Team Alexis is drafting. So we're going to jump into a Yahoo draft. I don't love the new scoring system. Feels way too football-y to me, but we're going to make it work in a 10-team draft, unlike the 12 teams, which I really miss. So let's go. So as it turns out, Team Shane is going to have the 5th overall pick. I know Team Alexis had the 7th pick in her draft. So hopefully teams are going to be a little bit different. So we're going to jump all into this. Yahoo scoring is different this year. It's no longer based on categories. It's now based on total points, and you get so many points for each event that happens. So many for a hit, so many for a run, single, double, triple, homer, etc., etc. Same with pitching, strikeouts, innings, all those types of things. I don't love the change of the scoring system, but we're going to have some fun with it this year and really try it out. So we're going to jump into the draft, and you'll see our first overall pick with the number 5 pick overall. Number 4 goes Elly De La Cruz. Unfortunately, that's who I was really leaning towards. So, in my opinion, number 5 pick, there's a few guys. You could go Jose Ramirez, Juan Soto, or Kyle Tucker. Those are the 3 at this point. The rest, I think, are a little bit of a reach, in particular because of the injury to Gunnar Henderson at this time. I'm really high on Kyle Tucker. I think he's going to win NL, or is my pick for NL MVP. If you've seen some of my previous videos, not that I think he's actually going to win because Ohtani still exists, but because of that, I'm still leaning Juan Soto, Jose Ramirez, and to me, positional versatility here, Jose Ramirez is the best third baseman that you can get, and nearly went 40-40 last season. And because of the new configuration with the point system, I'm taking Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians, because you get home runs and stolen bases here, and Juan Soto just doesn't give you stolen bases. And you see number 6 goes Kyle Tucker. And this is the reason with the scoring system, I think stolen bases are going to still have that value. And that's why I put Jose Ramirez over Juan Soto, and a little bit of positional value here because third base is not as strong as it used to be. Okay, so that brings us to our second pick. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. almost got to us. I wasn't going to take Vlad because that's who Team Alexis always takes, so I don't want to have that comparison there. So there's a few different guys here. You got Yordan Alvarez, Julio Rodriguez, Jackson Chourio in the outfield, maybe Bryce Harper here. I'm kind of leaning Yordan. I know I'm always worried about Yordan with a bit of an injury. I've had Julio in the past. I'm not sold on Julio yet as a player. The Seattle offense scares me. And Jackson Chourio, as good as he was, still as a young guy, just feels a little bit of a reach at this time. I don't love the injury history, but I do love the power. So I'm going to take Yordan Alvarez to fit into my outfield spot. Okay, so that brings us to pick number 3 for us. This is really interesting. There's some players I didn't expect to be here. We still have Machado, Devers, the top third baseman, although we already have Jose Ramirez for that, but we can use the utility spot. Jackson Chourio has fallen all the way to us potentially here. He's a ranked 16 player. We're picking at pick 25. This feels like tremendous value, a 2020 guy last year. And Zach Wheeler, who I think is the best starting pitcher potentially in the National League because of the consistency year in and year out with the innings, with the strikeouts. So I'm not normally big on taking a starting pitcher this early. Or do I go Jackson Chourio? I don't know where Chourio is going to land here. So I'm going to take Zach Wheeler. Actually, we rarely take a starter this early, but the consistency of Zach Wheeler is always the guy. So I'm going to take Zach Wheeler. He'd be the headline starter for our rotation. We need to balance this out. I've got a lot of really good starters, I think, that are a lot more value. Jackson Chourio just went, so that doesn't surprise me there at all. Maybe a bit of a mistake on my part, but we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to go with the consistency of Wheeler over the high upside of Jackson Chourio. So that brings us to round number 4. I was looking at Cole Reagans, but I'm a little worried about going pitcher. I want to chase some offense here. I think Corey Seager is going to have a big year. If he stays healthy, Texas is going to be very good this year. I'm going to take Corey Seager to fill my shortstop position, combining with J Ram, Yordan Alvarez, and some offense. I don't like taking a bunch of pitching early, so I think this is the best fit for us. He could have gone the upside of Wyatt Langford. Kyle Schwarber would be an interesting pick now, too, in the different format, because strikeouts are not and batting average are not going to hurt you as much. So I'm going to take Corey Seager to be my shortstop. Brings us to round number 5. We're still kind of chasing some offense here. Again, I could go Blake Snell in terms of some pitching. I still like the offensive pieces here. I'm going to go with, I think, a potential breakout in Wyatt Langford. Again, I'm big on Texas this year. I really like their offense. We're going to take Wyatt Langford for an outfield spot. He broke out. It seemed to be doing really well in September last season. Let's see if he can continue that over. Maybe not the most safest pick around, but we've got some pretty safe players here. So we're going to go Wyatt Langford and that high upside in our outfield. Round 6, I was thinking go pitching, but there's just some guys that I just cannot let pass. I think the Athletics are going to take a big step forward this year, and Brent Rooker is going to be right in the middle of this. I think changing ballpark is also very big. Very good chance of 40 home runs, 100 plus RBIs, 10 plus steals. How can you go wrong with that in the 6th round? We're going to take Brent Rooker to fill out our outfield. So we're going to add Yordan, Langford, and Rooker in the outfield. We still have J-Ram and Seager on left side of our infield. Zach Wheeler to front our pitching. So we are going to need some pitching here fairly soon to help stabilize this. In particular, a reliever. Hopefully one of these relievers slides a little bit to us so we can pick up someone who is going to get some saves, although probably not as important in the past, as you're going to get some points in some other ways. But unfortunately, I don't believe you get points for holds. So we'll have to find some pitching here to go along with this. I feel really good about our outfield. Round 7, I feel like we're going back to the AL West, and this is more about strikeouts than it is saves. I'm going with Mason Miller off the Athletics because of the 104 strikeouts last year. Yes, 28 saves. I think he makes an improvement on that this year, and the Athletics are even better, but it's the strikeouts for me, so I'm going to add Mason Miller as my stud reliever, and it's now time to find some starters to match our offense. Round number 8, I can't believe it again. We're going back to the AL West. I might as well just draft an AL West team outside of J-Ram and Zach Wheeler. Here we are going for the 6th time to the AL West. It looks like we're going to choose last year's breakout, Hunter Brown, who I think that mini Verlander in him, he has the chance to exceed last year's breakout, potentially hitting 200 strikeouts. Going to have a few more starts this year. Hopefully hit that a little closer to 200 innings as well. But Hunter Brown to go with our rotation. I really like him. So we're going to go back to our pitching well once again. This time we're going to the NL West to a pitcher that I absolutely love and have seen in person, Zach Gallen of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is going to start for them on opening day. When you pair him with Corbin Burns, he doesn't have to be that ace type for the D-backs this year. I think that's going to get him back to that NL Cy Young type standing he's had in the past. Look for back to more like 180 to 200 strikeouts, a lot closer to 180 innings. I really like Zach Gallen for improvement over last year. Round 10, you're just going to let me leave me with Adley Rutschman? Yeah, I'm going to take Adley Rutschman as my catcher. I know he had a down year last year. I expect a big bounce back this year. Definitely expecting 20 homers, 80 RBIs. Adley Rutschman for our catcher. Last I checked, Bobby Witt Jr. is very good. So in round 11, I'm going to take the first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino, who hits behind Bobby Witt Jr. and looks to hit 100 RBIs, maybe 20 home runs. That ballpark in Kansas City is known for giving up hits. Vinny Pasquantino is going to be my first baseman. 12th round, one of the best starters in baseball. Yes, he's coming back off of Tommy John surgery, but I'm taking Shane McClanahan because he is a legitimate ace, and he is back healthy and going to be pitching very well for the Tampa Bay Rays to add to our rotations. And now we have Wheeler, Hunter Brown, Zach Gallen, and Shane McClanahan as our starters. Mason Miller for a reliever. Still looking for one more reliever. We still need to start to add a little more offense in second base, but I really like the way our pitching has come together, even though we left it a little bit longer. So now we're probably going to look to add a little bit of more offense, fill in some of our holes here. We still need a second baseman, which is really struggling, but I do have someone for late if it necessary at second base. So I really like the way the team is coming together. Round 13, our first pick where I don't really feel comfortable picking really anyone here. I'm kind of stuck between some guys. You got Xavier Edwards, Ian Happ, Yainer Diaz. I really like the speed potential in Xavier Edwards, but I'm worried about how many runs he's going to score on that terrible team in Miami. I think we're going to go Yiner Diaz, add a little depth at catcher, first base as well. Making our first utility player. Yiner Diaz, very good potential, 20 home run, 80 RBI guy. I'm a little worried about how many games he played. Although he played 148 games last year, so the more they can get his bat in the lineup, the more I like Yiner Diaz. But not really a comfortable pick there. Doesn't really fit the needs in my mind. But we're working with it, so we're going with Yiner Diaz. Okay, round 14, we still have some of the same options here, but I'm going to go starting pitching. I think Jack Flaherty going back to Detroit is going to have a really, really good impact. He nearly had 200 strikeouts last year and 28 starts. So if you can do the same thing this year, returning to Detroit, I really like Jack Flaherty to fit there on a team that's much, much improved after their deep run last year. So Jack Flaherty adds to our rotation. So we still need a second baseman and a utility player in terms of our lineup. We're still looking for two more pitchers, one reliever and one probably starter, knowing us. And then we get into the bench. So very quickly, it's right back to us in round 15. Xavier Edwards is still here. He can fit into the utility. He can play a little bit on the bench. I think that he's a very good player here, but I'm going to take the power option and Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks add some power. The reason why I'm taking Suarez is because the strikeout batting average does not going to count against you nearly as much with this. So Suarez had a huge second half last year for the Diamondbacks. I think could continue that on this year. Add some pop to this team. You're going to get more points for those home runs. So I think playing that power game over the speed game at this time. So Eugenio Suarez is our latest addition. He'll fill in our utility. Okay, I'm playing it the whole time. Round 16, we are actually going to be the person who does draft Xavier Edwards. We're going to make use of that speed combination on our bench. We're still looking for a second baseman, a little bit more pitching, but I just got to the point where I couldn't turn it away. I have to go with Xavier Edwards. So we have added Xavier Edwards to the squad. All right, round 17, and I'm going to take the guy who's potentially going to be the closer on a 90-win team. Just got locked up to a big-time contract today as I'm having this draft. It's going to be Justin Martinez. It's going to be my next reliever to pair with Mason Miller. Big-time strikeouts. Forget always the saves. Big-time strikeouts, 91 in 72 innings last year. Justin Martinez is going to be our second reliever off the board. Okay, round 18, we've waited long enough. We finally need to pick a second baseman. We're probably going to pick a couple. We're going to add Bryce Turang. The stolen base potential is the big thing here, and the ability to score runs. So I'm going to add Bryce Turang to fill in my second base spot. Now I've got a lot of guys lined up here in terms of backups for that position because I feel I'm going to need it. Guys can cover multiple positions. We also need to add another pitcher as well as our four other bench places. Round 19, we're going to round out our pitching and take another starter who's had some injuries in the past but looks healthy this year. A new team, Jesus Luzardo. Good chance for a bunch of wins this year. He's been known as a bit of a strikeout guy in the past as well. So Jesus Luzardo to add to our rotation. Round 20, I'm going to add my backup second baseman. It's going to be Jackson Holliday. Why not take a shot at the youngster? Hey, if he hits, why not have Jackson Holliday on your team? No risk here. If he's not playing well, you can drop him very easily as a bench guy. If he hits, though, he can easily be a 20 home run, 20 stolen base guy. Why not from second base? Looks like a very solid spring for Jackson Holliday, so he is on the squad. Round 21, it's time to go a little boomer bust here. Spencer Steer's been dealing with a shoulder injury. Looks like he may be ready for opening day. If not, he probably shouldn't be too far behind. This is a 2020 guy, nearly had 100 RBIs for the Reds last year. I'm taking a shot here with Spencer Steer. Value. If he is healthy, that is a huge pickup in round 21. Round 22, I want to add a little depth at pitching. We're going to add Lucas Erceg, very talented reliever for the Royals, 72 Ks in 61 innings last year. Has the potential to be their closer there, although with Carlos Estevez brought in, probably not likely to, but he could get some saves here and there. I'm more interested in the strikeouts and good performance, so I'm going to add Lucas Erceg in round 22, leaving us with one bench position. We're looking to add one more starter to our team to round this out. Last pick of the draft, I'm going to add a starter. I'm looking at Reese Olson to add a little bit of depth, a little bit of quality to this team. I think he had a really good run the second half of last season. One healthy with Detroit. It's unfortunate he had a bit of an injury just for the playoffs and didn't pitch as much. So we've added Reese Olson now to finish this off. So we're going to take a look at our 3-up, 3-down team. Catcher, we have Adley Rutschman, Vinny Pasquantino at first, Bryce Turang at second, Jose Ramirez at third base, Corey Seager in short, outfield, Yordan Alvarez, Wyatt Langford, and Brent Rooker. Our utility guys, Yainer Diaz and Eugenio Suarez. And on the bench offensively, we have Xavier Edwards, Jackson Holiday, and Spencer Steer. In the rotation, we have Zach Wheeler, Hunter Brown, combining with relievers Mason Miller and Justin Martinez. Some more starters, Zach Gallen, Shane McClanahan, Jack Flaherty, Jesus Luzardo, and Reese Olson, with Lucas Ursig as our backup reliever. Overall, I'm not sure totally where we're supposed to finish. Sixth place, so 6 is reasonable for our expectations here. We've always do better than our expectations because we're able to acquire players off and on through the season. So there you guys, I greatly appreciate all your support here on 3 Up, 3 Down. If you want to see more of this kind of content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Comment down below who you love and the choices on your fantasy baseball team, or comment who you think is going to win between myself and my fiance, Alexis. We greatly appreciate all your guys' support. Until next time, take care, everyone.